Well, hello there. So this is the second time I'm trying this out. I've got the microphone working here, so we'll see how this records. So anyways, I'm Gary Nance, Sand Crab News. I work with J.C. Playford and Edward Peruta. Let's look at Voice of San Diego. So it looks like the San Diego is going to install a water purification plant. Looks like they're going to go from toilet to tap. Carlsbad has actually got a desalinization plant that does not put water directly into Carlsbad city water system. The water actually goes to San Marcos to the east and goes into the aqueduct system, which feeds the county water system. I think it only feeds about 12% of the need. So we could use some more of those desalinization plants. Mayor to veto exclusionary housing policy. San Diego City Council formally approved amendments to the city's exclusionary housing policy proposed by Council President Georgette Gomez on Tuesday. Hours later, UT reports Kevin Faulkner announced he would veto the proposal, so that's a moot point. San Diego moves forward with community choice. This is a community choice power system, electrical. Yeah, it's going to be kind of interesting how that works out, because all the infrastructure has already been built, maintained, and owned by San Diego Gas and Electric, or NRG. Coalition urges city to pause smart streetlight program. Apparently San Diego has streetlights that also have cameras in them, and they also have microphones. And actually, people are kind of worried about their privacy and Big Brother watching you every move you make. And here's about the footage. It quickly became a tool for law enforcement, and San Diego PD wound up writing its own rules for accessing the footage long after the devices were deployed. Two city council members said they were unaware. If you're not familiar with San Diego PD, they have a policy manual, and these are policies. And if you read the scopes of these policies, you'll see who they apply to and who they don't apply to. And somehow these policies get applied to people outside of the scope of the document. That's something for lawyers to wrangle with. I don't see how the police department can be writing laws or anything enforceable on people outside of the department. In other news, iNews source reports a 2016 ballot measure that was supposed to fix potholes, sidewalks, and streetlights in San Diego is falling short of city projections given to voters. Well, yeah, looks like they got to come up with $186 billion in various infrastructure needs. No way to pay for them. Union Tribune reports students across the county are preparing to walk out of class on Friday as part of an international campaign for climate action. Again, Earth's climate has been warming for the last 20,000 years or so since the end of the last ice age. I don't know of many humans that have had any impact on that. And what I'm seeing is we're probably nearing the end of the warming period. We're also going through the North Pole and the South Pole are migrating, and it's predicted by about 2050 the North Pole and the South Pole are going to flip. And as that happens, I think as it goes that the Earth's magnetic shield collapses and then builds back up. But during that collapse, we're kind of vulnerable to a lot of solar and cosmic radiation. So no telling how that's going to impact civilization as we know it. Oh, there's something else I wanted to look at. Let me see if I can find this. Second Amendment, California, Second Amendment, California, San Diego. I'm going to start reading this and then I'll put some slides. Okay, this pertains to San Diego City Municipal Code, Article 3, Firearms, Dangerous Weapons, Explosives, Hazardous Trades, 53, it's Municipal Code Section 53.00, I'll call it. And I'm going to skip down to the applicable section I'm thinking about. Okay, 53.17. Residential safe storage of firearms. Purpose and intent it is the purpose and intent of this section that the storage of firearms in residences within the city limits of San Diego be regulated for the protection and health of the public, to prevent firearm access by a person who is not the authorized user of a firearm. B. Definitions. For the purpose of this section, define terms in italics. The definitions apply to this section. Accessory structure is the same meaning as San Diego Municipal Codes Section 113.0103. 2. Authorized user means a person who is not prohibited from owning or possessing a firearm. 3. Firearm has the same meaning as San Diego Municipal Code Section 53.10. 4. Locked container has the same meaning as in California Penal Code 16850. 5. Mobile home has the same meaning as San Diego Municipal Code Section 113.0103. 6. Person has the same meaning as San Diego Municipal Code Section 11.0210. Residence means any structure intended or used for human habitation, including, comma, without limitation, comma, houses, condominiums, apartments, and mobile homes. So structure has the same meaning as in San Diego Municipal Code Section 113.10103. 9. Trigger lock means a firearm safety device approved by the California Department of Justice, Bureau of Firearms, in accordance with California Penal Code 23635. Subsection C. Prohibition. It is unlawful for any person to keep a firearm within any residence, including its accessory structures, unless the firearm is stored in a locked container or disabled with a trigger lock. Okay, this applies only to San Diego city limits. Just keep that in mind. Subsection D. Now we get to the good parts. Exceptions. Subsection C shall not apply to the following circumstances. 1. The firearm is carried on the body of a person who is an authorized user of the firearm. So carried on the body. Is that like in a holster, in a pocket, concealed, openly carried, loaded, unloaded? I'm assuming it's loaded. It could be hidden. It could be carried in a pocket, or it could be in either a concealed carry holster or an open carry holster. So imagine the scenarios where that can be fun. 2. The firearm is in immediate control of the authorized user so that the person can readily retrieve and use the firearm as if carried on the person's body. So it can be sitting on the tabletop. It can be hidden between some books, hidden under a newspaper or some clothing or whatever, strapped underneath the table. Then again, just think of the scenarios. And then E is reporting lost or stolen firearms. It goes into that, which I won't go into. So let's go back up to exception. Subsection D, exceptions. Section 1, the firearm is carried on the body of a person who is the authorized user of the firearm. So let's figure out. Mom is at home with the kids. Toddler opens the door, runs outside, runs into the street. Mom goes to follow the child. Goes off the curtilage of the property. In other words, the immediate area around the house. Steps on the sidewalk, crosses the sidewalk, which is public property. Steps into the city street. So now you've got Mom out there. She's got a firearm on her hip, and she's outside the home. In the meantime, neighbors have called the police because the child got hit by a car, let's say, and police respond, or let's say the sheriff's deputies encounter this woman or person with the firearm. Imagine the scenarios. How is San Diego Police Department Chief Neistat, Neistat, I have to correct his name. Training. How are they being trained? How's San Diego police officers being trained to handle situations possible under this new law? So I can imagine a few lawsuits and charges and being dragged into courts and a bunch of lawyers, and it's going to be fun.